on League of Ireland television with Leonard Burke and Tommy Lynch for the second 45 minutes of this SSE or Tuesday League First Division encounter between Treaty United and Finn Harps. And it's the visitors who are in the ascendancy here at the Markets Field this evening. They lead by 2 first half goals from Ryan Flood and fully deserving of that interval lead. The first of those coming from the penalty spot on 12 minutes and a second from a free kick on the 36th minute. Treaty United with 3 players in the book so far this evening. Enda Kern, Stephen Christopher and Anto O'Donnell all on yellow cards, and it's really been a battle that Finn Harps have won hands down in the opening 45 minutes here. Enda Kern going closest for the home side, and Treaty will be hoping that their top scorer can notch something in the second half that gets underway now, with Finn Harps playing from right to left. Good header there at the back immediately for Treaty United by Anto O'Donnell, and a second from him, a firm one. And one wonders what words did Tommy Barrett have at half time for his charges. I'm sure Dave Rogers was saying more of the same from Finn Harps.
Yeah, I think what's key for Treaty, I think in seasons past, we know what Willie Armstrong brings to the game.
And something here, Tommy. He's just going to throw in.
And we've got to get back to that. I think we've got to isolate him one-on-one with his man and give him the ball early and let him off. And then what's happening is, I think we're giving him the ball, and our centre forwards are running out towards him. Our Ludge is running towards him, and all of a sudden, instead of him being one-on-one, Ludge is going in there with his man.
Here's Lee Devitt into the box for Enda Kern. Enda Kern tries to turn in a sixpence in there. It doesn't work for him. And it comes all the way back for Darren Nwankwo, who gets the call from Shane Hallahan. Local club Shelburne Football Club providing the half-time entertainment here at the Markets Field while the two teams were in the dressing room. And good sprinkling of fans in tonight for Treaty United, and they come from all corners, from Limerick, Clare, Tipperary, and a couple of lads from Tipperary actually going for the ball now as it comes out. Killian Cantillon and Jake O'Mara, both from Newport. They were celebrating Newport's success in junior football recently in winning the Premier A Cup. And I'll have activity in junior football off the field tonight in Limerick City. Long delivery up to Enda Kern, but he's ploughing alone for up there at the moment, and he's easily beaten by Keith Cowan, the Finn Harps skipper. And here's De Silva. A lot of debate on the popular side here at the Marcus Field amongst the fans at half time about how workmanlike De Silva was in that opening 45 minutes, putting himself about, causing all sorts of difficulty for the Treaty defence. And it's probably one of the reasons why the visitors are 2 goals ahead. Enda Kern now jumps with Cowan. Cowan just gets a little nudge on that, and eventually it's Shane McMonigal who gets it clear. But Conor Barry now for Treaty United goes inside on that right leg, back to Darren Nwankwo. Nwankwo into the middle of the park. Touch for Alec Byrne. Alec Byrne to Stephen Christopher, running at the visitors now. Stephen Christopher does well, can't get a pass away to Dean George. It's cut out there, but George coming it back for Treaty United, goes down, tries to win a free kick. Ultimately it's going to be a throw-in to Treaty United, and a bit more purpose about the home side at the early stages of the second half. Here's Barry to George, back to Barry. Barry is something on here now for Treaty. Good defending by Mashigo, clears his lines, and Treaty United have a throw-in that they'll want to get on with quickly, but better play this time, Tommy, by the home side.
Yeah, it's usually great passage of play by Treaty there, worked it lovely, couple of 1-2s, ended up with Conor Barry getting in and driving it across the 6-yard box, but unfortunately I think Noah Baba had positioned himself in the ideal position and was able to clear it over the bar, but
yeah, now a chance for De Silva to break, and Darren Nwankwo does well here. Nwankwo gets it away for a throw-in. He was under a bit of pressure, and coming together there between Mark Ludden and Michael Harris, just off the ball. But again, Tommy, danger on the break, and De Silva putting himself about again, but on this occasion Nwankwo doing well for Treaty
on the cover. He did really well because he got the right side. it's like I say, you expect your man to make a mistake and be in the position to deal with it, and that's what he did. Many defenders would have thought, oh, that's Stephen Christopher, he'll deal with that, no problem, and switched off. He didn't. He expected a mistake, which unfortunately came, but he had positioned himself greatly and dealt with it. So good kudos to Darren Nwankwo there.
You're looking at the Treaty United bench, Tommy, 2 goals down. You don't see too many potential match winners amongst the substitutes tonight. Maybe Colin Conroy to come in and change things up a little bit in the middle of the park, and Martin Coughlin. But it's like for like, you really think. Yeah,
it is. And the one thing that Treaty always had, I think, in the first couple of years was always a strong bench. I mean, you'd have had Matt Keane and the keeper there is getting rid of his hat. Matt Keane and Mark Walsh is another who's usually missed tonight. But you are right. Colin Conroy in the middle of the park, maybe Colin Kelly to try and run at, just to do something different. But I just don't think we just haven't played well, or we haven't isolated our key players in key positions to let them do the damage that we know they can do. Does Tommy leave it with 4 at the back, or does he go 3 at the back and push players up, trying to upset and outmaneuver the Finn Harps? Because in fairness, bar the last attack, which was a great move by Treaty, that they've been pretty comfortable, and the keeper's made a couple of saves, but they have been shots from distance and they have been straight at him. So it's all for Treaty to try and change the tempo and change the angles of attack.
Stephen Christopher to Dean George, and they try to do that. George does well to keep it in, but eventually is dispossessed by Shane McMonigal. Dean George, however, wins it back for Treaty. Back to Stephen Christopher, floats it into the box. Willie Armshaw was teeing up for that, but it was headed clear. And coming together between Nwankwo and De Silva, and the referee says nothing there, and in comes a shot from Lee Devitt. Oh my word, that one had Hemer stretching, but that coming together between Darren Nwankwo and De Silva, the whole Finn Harps bench were up in arms about it. Tommy, the referee was so well positioned alongside it and thought it was a 50-50 duel, nothing more than that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Nothing on both of them, and he's got up. I mean, the referee has handled it well again, and I think Dave Rogers is giving out to his own player, because he says he should have gone stronger and gone harder, and it's the first time that he's been on the wrong end of a collision like that, because in fairness he is bossed and upset, and all the Treaty back four. So in fairness to Nwankwo, it's good play out of him. He saw the ball and he made sure he got there first, and he made sure he was protected.
And Lee Devitt with that shot that Hemer scurrying across his goal. Here's Nwankwo now trying to get on this one, and eventually does well. And Michael Harris felt that he was being impeded there, but the referee seems to be letting a lot go, Tommy.
He does. I mean, sure, he's gone across and he's taken his line, but I mean, he hasn't raised his hands and pulled him back. So I'm of the opinion, nothing says you have to run and let the Finn Harps attacker have a clean run at the ball. So good use of his body on that occasion, I think. So 2 good passages of play from Darren Nwankwo already in this second half.
Stephen Christopher is edged off it by Ryan Flood, the double goal scorer for Finn Harps, and it's a free kick, nothing more than that, just inside the Finn Harps half. Treaty United's Anto O'Donnell floats this into the box. Enda Curran gets ahead to it, heads it back down. A chance for Conor Barry, fires it straight at Mashigo, claims for a handball, nothing happening. Dean George with a shot, no, Hemer gets it away. Treaty can't get on that. Is there a spot kick? The referee awards a free out. Looked like a high boot coming in there from Lee Devitt in a bid to get that, and the referee again well positioned, but that shot there causing difficulty for Hemer again. Keeper happy to bat it away.
He was bad, but just, I don't know, I thought it was poor enough goalkeeping. I didn't think there was great venom in the shot. It was more or less at him. I think he tried to make it look like a News of the World or a newspaper saving, and batted it straight back out. I mean, if you're going to clear it, I mean, you push it wide out towards the corner flags, and he didn't do that. He caused the chaos in there.
I'm just wondering to what extent the sun might have been a factor, Tommy, because he's dispensed with his hat. So
he did.
A low-lying sun, and could have caused a bit of difficulty for the German-born netminder keeping goal for Finn Harps here at the Markets Field in Limerick this evening, where it's Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 2 in this SSC Air Trizzy League First Division. A touch on there from De Silva, looked to have come off Stephen Christopher to me, but the decision goes with the home side.
No, he's changed his
No,
mind.
the referee has changed his mind.
Yeah, but a good start. Good start. A couple of occasions now. We've had a couple of shots on target. We've had a good effort at ball across the 6-yard box. Lee Devitt's had a great effort. We've had another effort here. So Treaty have certainly upped the tempo of it, and they just got to keep this going and hope that they catch a break.
I know better man, as they said, than Enda Kern to do that for them, but they really need to get the next goal in this encounter, or else it would be curtains for Treaty United. Nice touch on by De Silva. Again, he and Nwankwo having a fair contest of it in the second half. Cowan with the head forward, and this one is floated in. It's easy for Ant O'Donnell to deal with. Easy ball to Stephen Christopher. Christopher closed down very quickly by Sean O'Donnell, and some of the spectators used the word narky about the Finn Harps number 20, but he certainly in the first half made a nuisance of himself, running at the Treaty defence, and caused problems for Anto O'Donnell. That led to the second goal, a free kick that Shane Hallahan will reflect on, and maybe probably could have done better with his hand, but he did save Treaty on a couple of occasions after that as the half wore on, and ensured that they only went in 2-0 down at the break. Here's Christopher, looked like a leg up from Mashigo. Treaty will have a throw in. Christopher gets on with it, throws it to Lee Devitt. Lee Devitt now has got Mark Ludden out on the far side, gives it early 10 to Curran. Curran cleverly lets it go to Ludden. Ludden into the box, and back defending there is Noe Baba, and he had to be the 26-year-old former Irish under-21 international to clear that one. Good play by Treaty United. Here they come again, ball into the box, and the Curran is there, but on this occasion Keith Cowan, the Harp skipper, does well, and Harps can come away with it now, and Treaty are under pressure here, and they've lost it in midfield. Stephen Christopher does well to slow up the attack, but again here's Michael Harris getting through on goal. Darren Nwankwo is back for Treaty, manages to hold up Harris, comes back to Kevin Jordan. Kevin Jordan tackled by Alec Byrne, who concedes a throw-in, but it could have been on the break there. It could have been 3-0 to Finn Harps.
Yeah, they butchered it in layman's terms. I think a wonderful opportunity, a 3 against 2, and somehow they managed to make a hames of it, luckily enough for Treaty. But again, they keep people up from corners and from throw-ins. They keep people up the pitch.
56 minutes gone here at the Marcus Field in Limerick. It's Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 2. Tonight's game brought to you in association with M&C Property, and Harps in the box. Darren Nwankwo had to be careful there as he eased Kevin Jordan away. Enda Kern looking for a free kick and getting nothing off the referee there as Cowan got in a challenge. Here's Alec Byrne, tackle from behind, and in goes Mashigo. Mashigo wins it back for Harps, and again Sean O'Donnell has it now, rolls it into the box. De Silva was deceived. Fortunately for Treaty, Stephen Christopher gets back, and here comes Willie Armshaw, gets away from Seamus Keogh for once. Armshaw now needs a bit of support, looks inside, good ball to Lee Devitt. Lee Devitt needs to be awake, he is alert, he gets it to Conor Barry. Barry can't control it though, and the opportunity is spurned for Treaty United, and a Finn Harps player is down in a heap after that coming together with Conor Barry. We'll pick up on that in a moment. Meanwhile, a second Harps player is down. This time it's Sean O'Donnell, and it looks as if it's Keith Cowan as well in a bit of bother, but the referee Paul Norton holding up play, but a full-blooded contest it continues to be, Tommy.
Certainly is, and that was a great break, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Willie gets the ball with nobody around him and just let him off and do what he does, and he's ran 20-30 yards, he's fed it in field, and from there we've got it out to Conor Barry and start an attack. We've just got to get Willie into it, I think, a bit more, and hopefully we can catch a break. I did think it was a foul to Treaty there. I do think that the lad had hold of Enda and stopped him from chasing after the ball, but in fairness, the referee is 30 yards away and the linesman is 10 yards away, and they don't seem to want to make decisions other than putting their hand up for an offside or a line ball.
Sean O'Donnell taking a dive there and looking for a free kick. Meanwhile, there's going to be a substitution on the Finn Harps side next time round. Number 24, Sean O'Kane, is getting ready for Dave Rogers' side. He's getting his instructions, and meanwhile Treaty Tried to come forward. Felipe De Silva cuts that one out, but Treaty win it back. Alec Byrne gives it to Stephen Christopher. Back to Alec Byrne, but this is a bit static from Treaty, and you feel they need to move it a bit more swiftly in this contest this evening. Anto O'Donnell on a yellow card and conceded the free kick from which that second Finn Harps goal arrived in the 36th minute, courtesy the boot of Ryan Flood from a free kick. But O'Donnell tries to get something going, and Darren Nwankwo, who also was involved in the concession of a goal, he gave away a spot kick in the 12th minute that again Flood was on hand to score his third goal of the season. He added his fourth, as I say, with that second goal from the free kick. And now Treaty come over halfway. Alec Byrne, he's been involved a couple of times in this build-up. He to Mark Ludden, the skipper. Byrne continues to run up the left flank for him. Needs a bit of support now. Wins the ball back. And under pressure from Seamus Keogh, Alec Byrne does well to win a throw into Treaty United. Or is it a corner kick? It looks like it's a corner kick.
Yeah.
Willie Armshaw's going across. Good play by Alec Byrne there. Good link up.
It was, and I was trying to
Ludden.
make a point there. In the last passage of play, Alec Byrne and Lee Devitt, our two midfielders, are 10 yards inside our half, while Treaty are on the attack. We need them up supporting.
Armshaw then with the delivery. O'Donnell is in there. Nwankwo throws his head at that. Can't get there because Keith Cowan did enough to ease him off it. And it'll be a throw into Finn Harps, that ball coming across. But again, Treaty showing momentum, Tommy, in this second period. And Harps now look as if they're going to have to make that substitution.
Yeah, because I think Treaty are doing what Finn Harps did. We're playing with urgency. And we're trying to get the ball forward. We're trying to get the ball into the box, and we're upsetting them. It was too easy for Finn Harps in the first half, but it's the attack is coming from all over. Ludge is getting forward. Anto O'Donnell's getting forward. Willie is getting on the ball now, something he hasn't done. Alec Byrne is winning corners in the far end of the pitch.
De Silva with a lovely through ball. Hallahan has to come off his line here. Does well to find Anto O'Donnell. Here's De Silva. De Silva inside, looking for Michael Harris. Harris tries to line one up. It comes off the back of Darren Nwankwo, and Mashigo gets back on it. Again, Harps raid down that right side. Anto O'Donnell is back there for Treaty United and clears his lines. And it goes only to Seamus Keogh. Keogh fires one back in. De Silva gets a lovely back heel on it. Well cut out by Alec Byrne, who seems to be everywhere for Treaty United at the moment. Lee Devitt can't control this one, but he can't do so because he's fouled by Ketlego Mashigo, and it's a free kick for Treaty United. This one is taken very quickly by Mark Ludden up in the direction of Dean George. Does well to get ahead on that. Something for Enda Curran to chase, but it's easy in the end for the German-born Finn Harps keeper Tim Hemer. And Hemer will slow things down. And still Sean O'Kane gets warmed up. He's been asked now to put the bib back on, so maybe they're holding off on that move. And Darren Nwankwo and Stephen Christopher between them get this ball back to Shane Hallahan. And into the 18th minute of the second period here at the Marcus Field. It's still Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 1, Finn Harps 2 in this SSE Electricity League First Division encounter, sponsored by M&C Property. Both sides, of course, anxious to get points here as we come to the midpoint in the league over the June bank holiday weekend, and you really feel at that stage you have to be putting down a clear marker that you're going to be in the playoff spots. But it was 4 on the bounce for Treaty United before last week's defeat at the hands of Galway United. It's a winning habit, they say, or a losing habit. Treaty are away to Waterford FC next week on Friday night, and then they're at home to Wexford on the bank holiday Monday, and Wexford in good form this evening, 2 goals up at half time in their game. Dean George ushers it back all the way to Shane Hallahan. Harps don't look like a side that were beaten 4-0 last week, Tommy.
No, they do not. They've been hugely impressive. And as it's just the urgency, and Treaty have reacted to it now in the second half, which is something we should have done, I think, from day one. But just small little things I'm kind of looking at. And seeing the keeper's kicking it out there, and he's always looking for De Silva, the big lad up front.
Good play here by Treaty on the attack, and it's their two strikers, and Curran and Dean George trying to get something going.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is De Silva's pulling out onto the left wing here onto Stephen Christopher, and he's winning most of the headers. So instead of Stephen Christopher saying to Darren Nwankwo, you go in and mark him,
Barry,
you come out and mark him.
A nudge there from De Silva on Alec Byrne. Treaty fans looking for a spot kick. Nothing happening, says referee Norton. And could the game turn on this now? As Sean O'Donnell goes right at the Treaty defence and eventually can't get away a shot. He had support from Michael Harris that he looked to his left. But this game, you sense, is really opened up at this point. Loose one there from Conor Barry. And the ball goes in for a throw-in. But it's end-to-end stuff, Tommy. And certainly the players are giving it all in this contest.
They certainly are, and it was great, as I said, Treaty on the attack, De Silva going back, and I think the fact that he won the ball so cleanly, whether he gently eased Dean George out of the way or not is up for debate. The referee didn't see it that way, but like I say, he did win it cleanly, and but played a great ball into O'Donnell in the middle of the park, and he just ran, but the support by Michael Harris to take the other defender away from it was hugely impressive as well. So good play all round by Harps, and Treaty need to get back to what we were doing earlier on in the half. Looks like there's going to be a change for Treaty as well.
Jordan into De Silva. De Silva pokes a toe at it, and Darren Nwankwo stays clear of that particular one. It's not dealt with by Treaty. It is now to an effective header from Mark Ludden, but the danger is eventually cleared. Shane McMonaghan up helping the attack for Finn Harps just then. Here come Treaty United now. Lee Devon in a forward position. Enda Curran screaming for it out on the left flank. Gets it out to Enda now, does Lee Devitt. Enda's got a runner outside him. It's Mark Ludden. He rolls it to Ludden. Ludden tries to get a cross in. It's well cut out at the back by Finn Harps. And good defending back there. And again, a long delivery aimed at De Silva. Nwankwo calmly heads it down. Stephen Christopher gets on it, tries to cut inside, and is dispossessed by Kevin Jordan. Could that be costly for the home side? Here's Jordan again on it. Bypasses De Silva out to O'Donnell. O'Donnell now will run it and to O'Donnell. O'Donnell floats one into the box at the back post. Stephen Christopher got a chest on it, but Kevin Jordan had the control been a bit better there, Tommy, then it could have been danger signals for Treaty United. Yeah,
there was an overload. There was two of them on the back post, but unfortunately when the ball came to him, it came at him at head height and he wasn't able to cushion the header down. Had it been a foot lower, he'd have chested it down into his own path. But for all the bright starts they've had, Finn Harps have come back into the game. But again, good game, end-to-end stuff.
It certainly is, and Mashigo getting away with a handball there. I think it was ball to hand rather than a handball, and must agree with referee Norton on that call. Treaty fans didn't. Meanwhile, Finn Harps have a free kick, and there's going to be a substitution on the Treaty United side now with Colin Conroy coming in for Conor Barry. And Barry back in the side tonight, but been unable to make any headway out there against a very solid Finn Harps outfit. Harps
substitution Treaty United team number 21, Colin Conroy replacing.
So the former Bohemians player Colin Conroy, 21-year-old Leishman, into the side for Treaty United. Like for like, we figured would be the types of changes, and you have to think that's what's happening there as Colin Conroy makes his 14th appearance of the season for the home side. Throwing down to Treaty United. Stephen Christopher keen to get on with it. Harps continue with their players warming up just to the left of their dugout, where Stephen Christopher is taking the throw-in for Treaty. First touch for Colin Conroy, but he is dispossessed, but unfairly so, says the referee. De Silva was waiting to pounce on it, but it's a free kick against Mike Harris, and Michael Harris will be disappointed with that award, the 20-year-old man from Convoy. Throw into Finn Harps, who seem to have weathered that early Treaty storm at the start of the second half. De Silva and Stephen Christopher go toe-to-toe. De Silva wins it. Dean George comes back and wins it for Treaty United. De Silva, though, won't give up. It's a throw-in, however, for the home side. Alec Byrne takes this. You have to be impressed with the way Finn Harps switch on immediately. The ball goes out of play again. Here's Anto O'Donnell. into midfield. Alec Byrne will do well to win this. He doesn't, because it's won by Katego Mashigo. Mashigo out to the right side to Sean O'Donnell. Sean O'Donnell looking for Michael Harris to move. Tries to cut inside. This time Byrne is back there doing well for Treaty United, and eventually the play is broken up and Anto O'Donnell can go back to Shane Hallan, and he to Darren Nwankwo. Nwankwo has Stephen Christopher calling. Nwankwo almost fell over there and presented an opportunity to Philip De Silva, but it didn't happen. It's back safely with Shane Hallahan. Hallahan, long delivery over halfway. Dean George tries to get ahead on it, but it's headed clear at the back by Jordan. And Alec Byrne again tirelessly working for Treaty United, but almost one senses having to go too deep to pick up the ball. Enda Curran gets a flick on here. Dean George gambles a little, but in the end it's Shane McMonigal who's back, and McMonigal looks for the comfort of the touchline and clears his lines on this occasion, the 21-year-old who joined Finn Harps from Alia. Yeah, I think, Tommy, for a long while now, Keith Cowan has been carrying an injury in the second half, so I think we're going to see a substitution at this stage with Sean O'Kane coming on. He's battled hard.
He has, he's done because he's playing central of the three defenders. He's been very safe, very sensible. He's won the headers that he needed to win. He is coming off, and he'll be happy, and I think his manager will be happy with the performance that he's put in this evening. And the Finn Harps fans are giving him a warm round of applause as well for his efforts.
And he hands the captain's armband to Ryan Flood. And Flood, with those 2 goals, has certainly played his part tonight. Now Mark Ludden is going to take the throw in here. One senses it'll be deep into the box, and is this going to be the moment when Treaty United turn things around in this SSE or Trinity League First Division encounter here at the Markets Field?
Number 24, Sean O'Kane, replacing number 5, Keith Cowan.
72 minutes gone. Ludden, long throw from the right side in. Darren Nwankwo tries to get ahead on it. It's a first touch for O'Kane, and the lines are cleared by Finn Harps. Stephen Christopher, meanwhile, has it back for 3 to Alec Byrne. Alec Byrne rolls it to Enda Curran. Enda Curran lofts one into the area. Nwankwo has stayed up. Treaty United claiming that there was a push in there. Alec Byrne loses out though on this occasion, and it's taken away by Harris. And Harris plays it back. Harps with a throw in. It's going to be a second Treaty United substitution because Dean George has been withdrawn and Colin Kelly is about to enter the fray. Again, one would say like for like in that substitution, but as Tommy Lynch said earlier, one suspected that Tommy Barrett might opt for fresher legs in the second half as he bids to unhinge Dave Rogers, Finn Harps, who, as things stand...
Yeah, I'm just trying to wonder what Tommy has done. I mean, Dean George was playing up front alongside Enda, and for the last few minutes he's been playing on the right wing, so I don't know if he's gone with...
Here's a chance for Lee Devon now, sticks ahead to that, looking for a handball, Treaty United. The referee's well positioned, but the goalkeeper makes a hames of that. Whatever happened with Tim Heemer, and the referee spots a free kick. I don't know what happened there, but I definitely think Mashigo had a bit of good fortune. Enda Curran remonstrating with referee Paul Norton, but Heemer seemed to drop that one, Tommy. And,
he did. I don't know what happened because was he expecting a head? I don't know. Lee seemed to stoop his head down trying to head it across, but I thought he might have been better off swinging his left leg at it, and I had switched off because I thought it was safely in the keeper's hands, but how wrong was I?
So Kevin Jordan back in the park. Tim Heemer takes the kick out. Treaty have it back. Stephen Christopher looking for movement. Enda Curran, good touch here. Kelly tries to do something for Treaty, but it's Finn Harps who come away with the ball. Mike Harris in the middle of the park. A toe poke there from the goal scorer. Ryan Flood means that De Silva can get it out to O'Donnell on the right side. O'Donnell loves to run at the Treaty defence, does Sean O'Donnell, but this time has to check and move back. And get support from Seamus Keogh. This one comes into the box. Easy for Shane Hallahan. Hallahan to Stephen Christopher. More urgency now about Treaty United. There has to be, because time isn't on their side in this one, and they desperately need a goal to get back into the game. Lovely ball from Alec Byrne here, looking for Willie Armshaw. Armshaw flicks it by Shane McMonigal. McMonigal gets back, and the referee is happy that it's a goal kick. So no joy there for Willie Armshaw, moving from left to right on this occasion, Tommy. But a quiet evening for the Kappa White men.
Yeah, it has been, and he's shown on two rare occasions that what he can do, and he lifts the crowd, and that's what you need to get. You need to get the crowd involved, and I think get the ball out to him and let him do his magic, and everybody is on the up and on the buzz. He seems to be playing up alongside Enda now at the minute, which is bringing him into kind of contact with a couple of the centre halves.
De Silva gets a great header on there from Mike Harris, and Darren Nwankwo has defending to do again. Harris manages to get control of this. He'll look for a throw-in or a corner kick. Nwankwo just gets in, eventually nudges the ball in. Nwankwo does well to win this. And wins a throw-in for Treaty United. Alec Byrne rises for that one. Header by Conroy now, and it's a loose header, and could put the defence in difficulty there, but well played by O'Donnell, and O'Donnell clears his lines, and Enda Kern will wait for the throw-in for Treaty United, and he'll leave it there for Stephen Christopher, and Stephen Christopher picks up that ball, wants to get on with it. He gets it from Tommy Barrett. Need movement to Treaty United. Conroy to Christopher. Christopher now cuts inside. It's on halfway. It's with Anto O'Donnell. O'Donnell looking for movement, gets it out to Kelly. His control isn't great. And again, Finn Harps still with that capably at the back. Byrne again on the ball. Back to Darren Nwankwo, looking for Mark Ludden with a diagonal ball to the left hand side and finds Ludden. Ludden nicks it over the defender. Gets away a shot, Mark Ludden. It's always rising. But he nicked it over Seamus Keogh there and got the shot away. It was obviously rising, Tommy, but enterprising play.
It was a great ball out of Darren Nwankwo, and you could see when it was coming towards Ludge, you kind of knew what he was going to do. He's just waiting for the right ball to bounce at the right time and cut inside his marker, young Keogh, and unfortunately it was always going to be on his right side, but in striking it, just leaned back that too much. And this is where I think Treaty have got to change it. They've got to bring one of the centre halves out here to mark De Silva on the touchline. They've brought Alec Byrne all the way back to
Alec Byrne gets ahead to that. Elsewhere tonight, Galway United, the league leaders, look as if they're going to have another win and make it 15 from 16 as they lead 3-1 against Athlone Town now. 75 minutes gone on the clock at AMNDC Park. 77 minutes gone at the Carlisle grounds. It's Bray Wanderers 2, Cove Ramblers 2, Bray down to 10 men in that one. And what about this scoreline from Mount Hawk Park? It's Kerry FC 0, Wexford FC 5 in that particular one. So Wexford set to pick up a valuable 3 points for them tonight. And here at the Markets Field in Limerick, it's still Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 2. This game brought to you in association with M&C Property on LOI TV. And those two first half goals from Ryan Flood separates the sides here. Here's Byrne. Been saying that quite a bit in the second half, Tommy. Here's Byrne, but nothing really by way of end product for Treaty. As meanwhile, Sean O'Donnell comes forward again. Loves to run at defenders. This time overcooks it a little, but
yeah, and you can see he's breathing hard now, but he's putting in a fair shift. He's back. I'm maybe a small bit critical of him, but I think he's gone too deep to get the ball. But I suppose you get frustrated when you're playing a bit higher and it's not coming your way. But he's back beside the centre halves. He was bursting out with it there. And again, a huge shift being put in by him this evening.
Yes, and Treaty about to effect 2 more substitutions now. Josh Quinlivan is likely to get a run. And Martin Coughlin being warmed up as well by Tommy Barrett. Martin Coughlin comes in. And Josh Quinlivan is in for Enda Kern. And Willie Armshaw withdrawn as well by Tommy Barrett. So giving youth its fling here with a couple of under 19 players joining the fray. Coughlin, the Abbey Fieldman, has been a regular with Treaty.
Number 29, Josh Quinlivan, replacing number 19.
Alec Byrne, meanwhile, drills one in low. Hemer does well to see that all the way through a crowd of bodies.
Yeah, just got a slight deflection which took the pace off it. But again, good play by him in the middle of the park.
Josh Quinlivan in his third appearance for Treaty this season. Just a one start for him. And it's appearance number 12 for Martin Coughlin for the home side. Kevin Jordan about to take this throw in for Finn Harps, and Finn Harps about to make their own substitution because they're introducing Aaron McLaughlin, and he's coming in for a man who's running socks off all night for Finn Harps out on that right wing. Sean O'Donnell and Tommy Lynn said he looked a bit tired, he'd run himself ragged, and now Aaron McLaughlin comes in for him.
Yeah, he gave me well pleased with his shift tonight and getting big hugs and high fives off the coaches from Finn Harps, and hugely impressive. I thought he did really well, and he was very direct, and as a defender that's the last thing you want, is a young sprightly fella with no end of skill either, running at you, and his ball control and dribbling was very impressive this evening.
And really, Treaty United will be disappointed. Their top scorer in the Kern gone from the proceedings, and been on that 7-goal mark for a bit now and hasn't added to it, and he'll be disappointed with that tonight. So is there anything left in Treaty United in the closing stages here, or is it going to be 3 points for Finn Harps and a double over Treaty United this season? 10 minutes remaining plus whatever additional time referee Norton sees here tonight. Alec Byrne yet again on the ball for Treaty United. Over to Ant O'Donnell. Ant O'Donnell gambles in the middle of the park. Does well to win that. Philip De Silva is doing well to cover back for Finn Harps. Mark Ludden moves it forward up to Martin Coughlin. Coughlin, however, is shepherded off it there by Seamus Keogh. And Finn Harps can bring the ball away, but it's only won back again by Ant O'Donnell. Ant O'Donnell to Stephen Christopher. Christopher out to the right hand side to Colin Kelly. Kelly floats one high into the box. Lee Devitt goes down. A little nudge there from Seamus Keogh. You might get something like that in the Premier League. You might get a spot kick for it, Tommy, with the VAR, but you won't get anything at the Markets Field in the SSE or
you won't get it this evening anyway. No, as I say, I think he was looking to get on the end of the cross. It was probably too high for him anyway, and he ran into the Harps lad, but there was nothing in it, and I think the referee saw it as what it was.
Tommy Barrett will be disappointed that his side haven't picked up something tonight that would have moved them into 5th spot in the league, particularly with that 3-1 scoreline at Eamon DC Park in favour of the league leaders Galway United. And we're going to have a card here and a card for Michael Harris, who held up Treaty taking a free kick. I won't mind too much about that because it just winds down the clock here at the Markets Field in Limerick on this balmy night on Shannon's side. We've had a pretty open game of football, but those 2 first half goals from Ryan Flood separate the side and have Treaty anything left in the locker that they can throw at the visitors in these closing stages. Ant O'Donnell has got forward here, eventually goes down and concedes a free kick, and O'Donnell stays down, but he looked like the person who was the transgressor on that occasion. Tommy just left the ball get that little bit too far ahead of him, and the chance was lost.
Yeah, he did, and he followed it in. It was a good run, a good break, but he was kind of running down a dead end. I mean, he'd 1 or 2 options earlier on in the move to kind of pass it out wider, to pass it infield to Colin Conroy or out to Ludds on the other side, but decided to go another step, and then it ran too far ahead of him, and he ran into the Harps defence and just breaks up the momentum again and takes the sting out of it, and Harps will just launch it again.
Easy for Shane Halloran in the end here, as we're in the 84th minute at the Markets Field. Here's Lee Devitt in midfield, closed down by Cadlego Mashigo. That's a free kick all day, and that's going to be a yellow card, I would think, for the Finn Harps midfielder. And they pick up their second yellow of the night. Mashigo getting booked there. So 3-2 on yellow cards it is. 3 for the home side, 2 for the away side here at the Markets Field. But more importantly, Treaty United 2 goals adrift of Finn Harps, and Harps now within touching distance of closing that gap on Treaty United to just 2 points and recording their second victory over the Shannonsiders this season in the SSE Electricity League. Ludden plays it short for Byrne. Byrne now moves it, steadies himself for a shot, well blocked down by Harps, and Harps can break down. Philip De Silva is away here, but the option is not to play De Silva, and that looked like a free kick all day, the way Aaron McLaughlin went in and Stephen Christopher. Bad call by the substitute, Tommy. The opportunity was there to play in Philip De Silva.
It certainly was, but in fairness, Stephen Christopher didn't commit himself to it. It was good defending because he cut off the pass to De Silva. He kept himself between the ball and the pass to De Silva, forcing the young lad to go himself, and Stephen backed his own pace. So good defending there, I thought, by Stephen Christopher. As much if he was going to pass it, he had to do it earlier on in the move.
This ball is delivered in the direction of Kevin Jordan, gets ahead to it for Harps. It comes out, there's an opportunity for Treaty to build again, and Josh Quinlivan was looking for Colin Kelly. It's with Stephen Christopher now. Christopher gets one away, and in goes Martin Coughlin, tries to get on the end of that. It's shepherded out by Mashigo. He's fully recovered from picking up that yellow card and taking a knock in the process, and he eases the ball out of play, and Tim Heemer won't be in any rush to get things going, as Harps will make another substitution with Damien Duffy about to be introduced now later on for the Donegal side, and he'll replace Michael Harris. Harris just after picking up a caution, and in comes Damien Duffy. No changes in the scorelines elsewhere. It's still Galway United 3, Athlone 1, Bray Wanderers 10, Bray 2, Cove Ramblers 2, Kerry FC 0, Wexford FC 5, Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 2 here, and all the while Finn Harps closer to doing the double over Treaty United, closer to moving to within 2 points of Treaty United as well, and a second defeat on the trot looming for the home side here at the Markets Field after a run of 4 games unbeaten, and Harps, after 4 games without a win, suddenly find themselves now about to pick up a couple of points here. Alec Byrne, I think exhaustion as much as anything else, Tommy, as he went down there from that tackle.
Yeah, in fairness, he's been everywhere tonight. He's good on the ball. Unfortunately, a lot of his play has been chasing back and trying to support his defenders as much as supporting his attackers. He is absolutely out on his feet. But I thought he's worked really hard and unselfishly for the team this evening.
Now Treaty again come forward. Good play here. And Treaty have won themselves a free kick just on the edge of the area, and that was good play by Martin Coughlin. And the Abbeyfield men doing well to win this free kick. So is there something here for Treaty United? Keen to get on with it. Lee Devitt is over there. Colin Kelly is making his way over. Mark Ludden is there. Ludden, I think, fancies this one, Tommy. Set up for a left-legged player, maybe?
Yeah. Got to work the keeper either way. Whether you're, and I wouldn't go over the wall, I would drill it at the keeper, try and get someone in front of him. We should have 1 or 2 people.
There comes Ludden. Drills it low, as Tommy Lynch said. And it goes outside Tim Heemer's left hand upright. Yeah. Almost looked as if it was going into that bottom right hand corner.
It did, yeah.
Tommy,
but he had full view of it.
Away.
I mean, all the Treaty players, you had the wall and then you had the keeper wide of the wall. We had to have 1 or 2 Treaty players in between the keeper and the ball just to take his sight off it. And these small little things we've got to be picking up on. And here we have De Silva coming out to the wing, and Alec Byrne, our midfielder, is coming all the way back to mark him, and I can't understand why someone doesn't tell Darren Owanko, go out and mark him and leave Alec Byrne in the middle of the park to pick up the second ball.
In the 89th minute then at the Marcus Field, and it looks as if the 3 points are on their way to Ballybuffet, as Finn Harps will have made this long journey worthwhile. They lead by 2-0. 2 first half strikes from Ryan Flood, one from the penalty spot, one from a free kick, both from dead ball situations as it were. Treaty, in a bid to get the ball forward, can only win a throw in, and Stephen Christopher operating at right back tonight in the continued absence of Ben O'Riordan, who still has to sit out one more match in his 3-match suspension that he got against Longford Town. Long delivery up now, but Quinlivan can't get a touch on it. It's touched on by Martin Coughlin. Colin Conroy tries to get on the end of it, but there's a wall of Finn Harps defenders there. They've worked tirelessly all night and they're not going to give it up now. Fourth official Darrell Corcoran is consulting with Paul Norton, and any second now we're going to see what additional time there's going to be. I suspect we'll have at least 4 minutes of additional time. Tommy Barrett is looking for a little bit more, I think. Darren Wankwo heads the ball clear, and we'll get a signal, I think, now from Darrell Corcoran. We do indeed 4 additional minutes. It's going to be, I should have had a punt on that, Tommy. Particularly when Tommy Barrett was looking for 5.
I know, but as I say, we started the half really promising, and I thought we'll get back into it, we'll get a break, and I think we worked their keeper on a couple of occasions. One good piece of defending by the centre half in clearing up probably Treaty's best move of the game, but since then it's been
interesting. After 90 minutes, referee Norton has decided that Philip De Silva was backing in on the Treaty defence there. Not too sure how many times he did that in the first half and was successful in doing it. Here's Conroy, but Washi goes back there, and Treaty looking for a corner kick.
No.
And referee Norton, in consultation with the assistant referee, says it's a goal kick. Dave Rogers still having a few words with the fourth official. Fourth official taking a note of what's been said now. So I'm sure that'll be in the official's report.
Yeah. And he's just booked the keeper now because the Treaty lad played the ball to the keeper, who just lifted his leg up and left it roll out and across the goal, so the referee wasn't happy with him, so he's picked up a yellow card.
So even Stephen on the yellow cards, 3 apiece. Not a dirty game by any stretch of the imagination, but a well contested affair, and Finn Harps with that real forceful opening 45 minutes seem to have done enough here to secure the 3 points on offer at the Markets Field. Or is there a late rally for Treaty? Here comes Mark Ludden, hasn't given up all night, the Treaty skipper. Movement out on the right side, ball floated into the box. Hemer is happy to let it go as Treaty players try to get on the end of that. Josh Quinlivan being one of those, Colin Conroy as well, and ultimately Colin Kelly, but it eludes all 3 and it's gone behind, and Tim Hemer in no particular hurry, as they say, to get on with the game. 2 of those additional 4 minutes now played, so I think, Tommy, we could safely say at this stage, unless something really strange happens, that the points are on their way to Finn Park.
Yeah, it seems to be. It's pretty disappointing, I think, as we've worked the keeper on a few occasions, forced a couple of good saves at him. Unfortunately, the shots were straight down his throat, and then we had a bright maybe 10 minutes great turn.
McLaughlin turns by Anto O'Donnell. Darren Wankwo tries to get back for Treaty. He'll have to challenge here. He does. McLaughlin, he gets it away, and it's a third one for Finn Harps. I think Darren Wankwo was caught in 2 minds as to what he ought to do there, Tommy, and in the end he didn't effect the tackle, and Aaron McLaughlin toe poked it into the bottom left hand corner. Game set and match to Finn Harps. First goal for Aaron McLaughlin with Finn Harps, and 3-0 it is, and deserving winners, Tommy and Dave Rogers, being acclaimed by Tim Hemer, who's come all the way from his goal area to congratulate the manager, and I think common sense is prevailing there, because he could just as easily have got another card for rushing off the bench. But 3-0 to Harps, you can't argue with it, Tommy.
No, you cannot, and in fairness, it was a great, again, he was able to feel the defender, and he knew how to roll him. It was a great touch in rolling him, and then his pace. It was all down to pace after that. Probably just gave Darren Wankwo, just couldn't get there, and De did really well and drew the keeper and slipped it into the bottom of the net to add to the already disappointing scoreline.
So for the second week in a row, Treaty United have succumbed to a 3-0 victory. A late goal for them. The Aaron McLaughlin with the third killer goal for Finn Harps, coming in the 3rd minute of additional time. But by then the points were done and dusted and were on their way up to the northwest, courtesy of those 2 first half goals from Ryan Flood. The first from the spot, the second a free kick on 36 minutes, and adding that one from McLaughlin, the Irish under-17 international on target there. And on the night, Tommy, Finn Harps full value for their victory.
Yeah, I think so. It's disappointing. I think coming out the start of the game, it was all down to Treaty again. We were hoping to pick ourselves up after the loss against Galway, which there was no shame in that. But we never really got it going, and I think I couldn't be but impressed by the effort and the passion and the willingness to work and the urgency that they showed in both defensively and offensively. And as I say, when the ball was in and around the Treaty centre halves, they were impressive in how they worked to get it back and to not give an easy clearance out to the Treaty defenders. So it's another disappointing, another 3-0 loss to Treaty. We did raise a couple of chances, but unfortunately on the night the keeper proved more than equal to anything that came his way. And Finn Harps will go back having closed the gap down on Treaty. And Treaty don't have another... you couldn't call it an easy fixture next week down in Waterford.
And Harps, of course, will be happy to knowledge that Kerry FC will be making the long trip from Tralee up to Ballybuffet. So they'll fancy themselves put back-to-back wins together in advance of the weekend.
You certainly would. And then, I mean, if we were to say now, what do you think that these two results, these two teams will do next week? You would think Treaty will be hard pushed to get anything down at the RSC, and you would expect on the back of what I've seen tonight and what I've seen of Kerry in previous weeks, that Finn Harps would be out-and-out favourites to gather the 3 points next week.
Bray and Cove Ramblers, meanwhile, have drawn 2 apiece. Bray were down to 10 men in that particular one. Wexford have added a 6th goal now below in Mount Hawk Park. 6-0 it is against Kerry FC, and they're playing 4 additional minutes there at the moment. Galway United look to be secure at the top, Tommy, 3-1 up against Athlone Down, and putting it up to Waterford FC to stay on their coattails, and Waterford will be trying to do that tomorrow night against Longford Town. Yeah,
as I say, it's kind of gone as expected. I mean, to be honest, we had got back into, I thought, on the back of the 4 results, we were showing huge promise, and you can allow the result last week against Galway. I thought the performance was okay, especially in the first half. I thought a couple of decisions, and maybe there might have been a collision in the middle of the park where another referee might have given it different, but he didn't. But I thought Treaty in the first half more than coped with the Galway team, but disappointing tonight, as I say. 3 or 4 saves out of the Finn Harps keeper, and that seemed to be our lot.
Well, currently Galway are 13 points clear at the top of the table with 16 games played. They're on 45 points. Waterford have a game less. They're on 32 points. Bray Wanderers are in 3rd place. They've 16 games played. They're on 24 points. It's all over now at Eamon DC Park. All over as well at the Carlisle grounds. Cove Ramblers stay in 4th as a result of their 2-2 draw tonight.